Yes, Instagram has changed my life in so many senses. I don't know, this video is gonna be all over the place because there is no script. I didn't take any notes or anything. I'm just sharing what happened with me. As far as I remember, I started using Instagram during the COVID, and before that I used to use but just to post pictures and all. A lot has been changed after that. Pre-COVID, I used to just post my artworks and do like a very basic picture form of posting. It's not about just posting. I hardly think I used to go to Instagram and check the content, even though there was not a lot of content, but there was. Okay, during the COVID, we all got this habit of scrolling on Instagram, and that's where shit got real. So I kept consuming content on Instagram, mindless consuming. Like I'm scrolling for 2 hours, and you never know when the time passes. Recently, I was like realizing a few things. What actually happened? Someone asked me, "What are your hobbies?" And then I got like, okay, what are my hobbies? What do I do? I don't have time from scrolling. You know what I mean? There is no time for hobbies. But then what do I do? I just scroll for 2 hours or 3 hours continuously, and I lost my hobbies. Then I remembered pre COVID what I used to do as a hobby, and there were hobbies and they don't exist anymore. That was kind of shocking for me. Here is the thing, I always thought that it's not affecting me in a bad way. You know, like I see some people, they get a very bad self esteem. They want something which they see on Instagram, like big cars or houses. I never had those kind of needs or wantings. So I thought it's not affecting me because I don't seek for those things, but it does affect you. And I'll tell you how, and I'll give you few examples which personally happened with me. And later in life, I realized that, holy shit. So here is what happened. A few years back, I was dating a guy who is now my husband. We were in Himachal. We were like in the mountain place, and everything was nice. We went for these 2 months staycation because it was really hot in Delhi. And the one fine day, he was sitting and he said, "You know what? Let's get married." And I was like, okay, maybe he's joking or something. This can't be true. I was really happy, surprised, and I was also thinking that maybe he's pranking because this is not the way you ask someone to get married, right? I was like going through like all these things. I was like, maybe he's joking or something. This can't be true. And it was true. He was asking it in a very serious way. But there was something which was bothering me. Why the hell he chose this way to propose me? Because I was so used to see these Instagram proposals and everything on social media. Everyone is proposing in a big grand way. They're putting flowers, they're putting these big arrangements. And if it's not that big, some small, cute arrangements and all that stuff. And I was like, I also kind of wanted something like that. And by the way, before social media, I never had these kind of expectations. I come from a place where there was no culture of proposing because most of the marriages are arranged. And even if it's not arranged, first you go to the parents, then they decide. And when everything is decided, they put this engagement thing, which is not a surprise anymore. I was like, where these expectations were coming from? Because it was not cultural. And I never expected this to happen in my previous life. I never thought that, okay, someone is gonna come and propose me in this certain way. And it only started happening after watching these reels, after watching these TikToks. So, like, I created this big expectations. So when he did that, and he was very casual because there was no way he could go and buy rings because we were on the top of the mountains. There was no shop, nothing. I was kind of sad. I'm not gonna lie. I was so sad that this is such a big thing in your life. And he just said it in a very normal way. There were no flowers, no ring, nothing, no cameras because I also wanted to capture it. It happened and it kept bothering me for so many days, months, year. The worst part is like every time we used to have like these fights. I used to throw this shade of, oh, but you didn't even care to propose me in a nicer way. I was such a bitch. I kept throwing this shade like for so many times, and I feel so bad for that. Time passed, we got married, and then I started realizing like why does that happen? It was all coming from this social media and especially Instagram. You see so many people doing these proposal videos, wedding videos, so many videos. And when I gave it a thought, I realized that my thoughts were getting so influenced by these Instagram, TikTok, and all that stuff because the person whom I got married loves me every single day. If there is camera, if there is no camera, doesn't matter. His love for me is the same and it's growing like even more beautifully. So, was it necessary for me to create such a scene? Okay, I didn't create scene, but I threw some shades for so many years. Not for so many years, maybe 1 year. And now when I think about, I kind of destroyed that moment for myself because whatever he did was so beautiful. He said that let's get married, and then he made these little rings out of this toilet paper, and we exchanged that ring. It was so cute and awesome in a completely different way. I kind of destroyed that moment for myself for the next few months just because I had these big expectations. I would say these Instagram expectations. That's when I realized that maybe it's affecting me and I need to think about it. Because some people, they're not that materialistic that, oh, okay, if someone is doing the plastic surgery, I also want it. If someone has that car, I also want it. It affects in your own way. And there are so many different ways it can affect you. Yeah, it affected me in terms of hobbies. It affected me in terms of creating these false expectations. It also affects me sometimes when I see people traveling because it's been so many years that I haven't traveled because of some personal reasons. But sometimes it affects me, when, especially when I'm PMSing. And these things are so avoidable. Instagram is affecting us in a way that it tells you to not be grateful for the life you have. For many years, I was not thankful for the life I had. Recently, I went for this family lunch and we were having food, and the food was so good that I overate it. I was so full. And then I came back home. I opened my phone and I saw this news of Gaja where kids, they were hungry and they haven't eaten for so many days. And it made me realize that the only difference between them and us is that we are born in different place. And that is enough reason to be grateful for the life we have. That was the first time after so many years I was feeling grateful for something. And the reason why I was not feeling grateful for many years was that I was always seeing something much bigger than my life. Every time I was opening Instagram or TikTok or anything like short form content, especially, I see people having nice houses, more money, 23-year-old kids buying houses, which I am completely fine. But here I'm 33 and don't have any houses. Like it hits you sometimes. And yeah, so those things keeps reminding you that you are small, you have less, you're not beautiful enough, blah, 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 so many things. And with all these information around you, which is all good, you feel that you have nothing. And then you stop feeling grateful for life. And that's exactly what happened with me. I was not even aware that Instagram was affecting me so much. I think every person gets affected in a completely different ways. It completely depends on your personality and what you value the most. If someone is getting affected by their self-esteem or body image issues, maybe they value most that part. But for other people, it's affecting in a completely different way, and you never know. Yeah, that's exactly I wanted to share. I won't say that I stopped using Instagram because it is very addicting, but I'm trying to consume less and less content. I am trying to keep myself away from Instagram. So I still didn't reach to that point where I'm able to detach completely. So my screen time used to be like 6 to 7 hours. And I'm not kidding, 6 to 7 hours. And now it's been like 30 minutes or something. On that 30 minutes, sometimes I just go check very quickly, and 30 minutes is nothing. You open and you close the Instagram and you don't even realize that 30 minutes are over. Yeah, I applied a few things in my life to just reduce the screen time. I can make a separate video about it. I think it'll be really nice because I think I'm slightly nervous. My voice is like shaking. I don't know why. This is not the first time I'm making video, but I'm making it after so many months. So I know like a lot of people, they've been going through the same thing, and sometimes you don't know that you're getting into that deep hole, but it does happen. Overconsumption of social media is not healthy at all, and we don't even know how it affects. So that's why I wanted to address this, especially my experience. That's it.